Hi Aquarius, welcome into your monthly money and career tarot reading for the month of February 2023. I do want to thank you so much for joining me for this reading, but as we proceed, do keep in mind, this is general for your month, so just take what resonates and leave the rest behind. And I more than appreciate the love and support in the form of likes for this video, comments down below, tell me how the reading resonates, and of course subscriptions to the channel if you haven't joined this Aquarian tribe already. But I did pre-pull most of the cards that we're going to use for your reading, and then we'll further clarify with the small everyday tarot. But I did pull one small oracle, a main tarot energy to represent and speak upon your month as a whole, and then 6 other tarot cards to give you an idea as to how your month is going to unravel and proceed for oneself. But we're beginning with prosperity, a prosperous business with riches and success. Absolutely beautiful. Now, this doesn't have to just speak upon my entrepreneur Aquarians drawn to the reading, but I do feel like there are a lot of which watching this reading. But this also does speak upon the prosperity that you're gaining and seeing quite evident for oneself through your day-to-day job or jobs. You could be running a business and working a job, wouldn't be surprised. But it feels like for the most part throughout the month, you're quite grounded in the midst of getting a lot accomplished. I did receive the achievement card before when I was pre-shuffling, but the prosperity card just felt right. And so there's a sense of you at certain points throughout the month when you're working, spending money, investing for some, needing to tap into that strong Aquarian intuition when figuring out, is this going to be worth, giving up this amount of money? Is this going to be worth investing in? Is this going to be a prosperous situation for oneself, a comfortable one, excuse me, especially if it makes you a bit nervous, right? A bit of reevaluating potentially taking place to continue with or to jump into. So there's just some important moments that involve deciding, horrible wording. There's some important decisions, if not one in particular, that takes a highlight in needing to, again, tap into your intuition. And I feel like you'll get spiritual guidance even if it doesn't feel like it all the meanwhile. But your main tarot to speak upon your month, the Queen of Pentacles, beautiful. So naturally speaking upon you feeling quite focused on your money, on your pentacles, on a savings increase for oneself. I feel like you're very, very hardworking throughout February. But for whatever reason, whether it's due to certain changes in the past or one in particular or several you're making throughout this month, certain adjustments, how you've changed, you're not feeling as stressed when working, when getting things accomplished in comparison to past chapters, potentially past jobs, or just an old version or several of oneself. And Spirit's saying this is something to commend oneself for, right? But I feel like there are certain pushes or a pull rather, to take your focus away from what you're trying to manifest or away from your focus on your money, on your work at certain points, because I feel like it's almost a feeling that you want to stay busy or you just have so much on your plate that it's going to benefit you greatly to step away from whatever it is you feel so wrapped up with, right? For a cleanse of your perspective, okay? Potentially a cleanse of your energy, to help you with your vibration at that moment, or just to realign your focus for a sense of, they're saying clarity, or just to catch your breath, or just to implement some self-care. But I feel like for some of what's drawn to the reading, a shift from January to February, you're spending a lot less money. It could be because you're busier, but the 10 of Cups to begin the month in the spread. And so I feel as if there is a focus on an ideal situation for oneself. Ideal full fulfillment is what I'm getting when it comes to work, when it comes to where you put your money forth towards. I feel as if some of which are thinking about a move of residence. We do have the 7 of Cups here. You have a lot of options, keep that in mind. And you may be reminded of just that. But we also have the 10 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So we have the number 1010 coming out. Abundance, my friend, abundance. And I truly feel like this beginning to February reminds you that whatever you desire, you can have it, you can manifest it. We'll even help you co-create with us, meaning Spirit, to see that come to be. But it will come to be in the right way at the right time. You need to remember that. Are you feeling fully fulfilled where you're living? Are you feeling, or fully comfortable? Are you feeling fully fulfilled through running your business, through working your job? Is there a need to switch things up, right? Find a new situation, make an adjustment in your perspective or your approach. I do feel like a lot drawn to this reading. or being commended for how peacefully passionate you truly are in regards to what you're creating, developing, trying to fulfill for oneself. But Spirit's also reminding you throughout the month at certain points, especially at the beginning, you need to fill up your own cup in order to take care of other people, in order to care for what you wish to see even more successful. I do feel as if there's no shortage of hunger within you, Aquarius, to see more success, to see more savings increase, to be able to efficiently, in a mature manner, pay off your bills ahead of time, right? Or just on time. And it feels like you're going through what feels like at times a never-ending balancing act, right? But thriving through it all. I do feel like you're being reminded at the beginning of the month through levels of victory, right? A reminder why you cut out what isn't meant for you, that the possibilities are truly endless for you, all right? And you can accomplish whatever you set your mind, heart and soul towards, but what do you want to see come to be next? I feel like you have a general idea of which stepping into the month, but it might be something that's just on your mind, say when you're working or just out and about running errands, spending money. But I feel this very bold sort of, but grounded, passionate way about you. And I feel like there's so much success just in this first chunk of the month. Imagine what the rest of the month has to offer with an overall message of prosperity. But to shift on forward, we have the King of Swords. King of Swords. So there are a lot of kings and queens on the board is what I'm noticing. But the middle of the first half of the month highlights the fact that you are one knowledgeable, wise soul at this point along your path, from all the jobs, even the difficult ones that you experienced, all the ups and downs leading you to be this King of Swords energy. At this point in the month, but in general, one who isn't afraid to whip out their sword to defend what they're working towards, what they've been working on for a while for some, or just what you wish to acquire. But I feel like people are noticing you as somebody who just knows what they're doing. You could be viewed as a leader in certain ways, or in one big way. For some, a trendsetter. I do feel like putting oneself out there on social media or just in the public eye, very, very beneficial. Something's growing quite, they're saying prosperously, okay, if that's even a word. It's just growing quite nicely at a steady and beneficial pace. And I feel as if it's a month where the money's flowing in quite steadily, some of which do have expected income naturally. But I do feel like either way, there's unexpected income to be expected. Interesting wording. The Eight of Cups came out, so I feel like you're being pushed to utilize your knowledge, your wisdom to do what's right for you. And I feel like there's reflecting at this point in the month in regards to when you switched something up or did what was right for you and how beneficial that was all the meanwhile. But the middle of the first half of the month highlights the fact that the wheel is turning for you because you're so wise, because you're so skilled and talented. And I feel like people, again, sense that you know what you're doing and you'll be needed, whether that's more so in the work environment, customers, clientele, however it works for you, you're going to be needed. And this may just end up leaving you even busier all the meanwhile. As I just took a hot second to hydrate, given I am doing a lot of speaking, I feel like you will be as well. I did hear the message of busy, 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 right? Even if you don't need to, I feel like you're pushing oneself to stay busy. It's like if you're not working, if you're not out and about spending money, keeping things in order, tidying up at home, does that make sense? Even when you're not doing what I just mentioned, any of which you're researching or looking into stuff from the past, reviewing, and even researching or just brainstorming for your bright future. I sense a very analytical but creative way about your thought process, your approach, right? Very well spoken, at least for the most part, but the imperfections are important and purposeful in the eyes of spirit. But we have the Queen of Pentacles, yet another queen. So two Queen of Pentacles, right, naturally, to speak upon the end of the first half of the month. So again, I feel like you're very grounded, or there could be a push to reground oneself in certain ways as you step into this part of the month. But I feel like, again, there's no shortage of you feeling quite focused on your money. It's like the money flows in and it makes you hungry for more. I sense that being drawn to this reading, you're very focused on one, if not several, financial goals you have in mind, whether it's a new investment, a specific amount, or several that you wish to save up. It could be more in regards to, yeah, just wanting things to build up. You may not have a specific amount, but I feel like for a lot drawn to the reading, there is one, if not several goals in your, the forefront of your focus, right? Keeping you motivated, right? Having that end goal. They're showing somebody with a carrot hanging from a string, right? I don't know why they're giving me that imagery. Kind of feels like Spirit's keeping you motivated all the meanwhile. The Seven of Cups and the Page of Wands. So yeah, you could be, again, focused on a passionate fresh start for oneself, potentially involving more comfort, more money potentially, or the ability to save some. You could be pushing oneself to move towards something that's going to cost you more money, or feel like a downgrade, but it actually is an upgrade. But I do feel like all the meanwhile with that Seven of Cups, you're being reminded you have a lot of options. Thinking about with that diamond, if you look at one of the cups, the finer things in life, I feel like your materialistic side is highlighted. You being somebody who just desires nice things or just what you want or need right away, and not wanting to have to double check your account or just, think about your bills when wanting to purchase something, right? Just wanting to be able to pay your bills and buy what you want or what you need when that moment comes to be. And Spirit saying you deserve that all the meanwhile. I feel like being drawn to the reading, you're meant to have a very rich or just a very wealthy lifestyle moving forward, even if you can't feel that. But I feel like a lot drawn to the reading do sense that. But this also coming through is you having a lot to accomplish, right? It's almost as if your ability to manifest is coming into play, okay? Your ability to multitask, to prioritize. I would say some good advice would be to write things down, especially towards the end of the first half of the month. But they're saying the month as a whole because you have a lot going on. You might come up with a great idea or be given to you by Spirit, or you just might think, I need to even purchase this, and this, and then you'll forget because you get so busy or you get distracted, right? So write things down. You'll thank yourself in the end. And I just feel like it's a reminder to just keep things organized, keep things tidy at home and at work for some. This is going to benefit your mental state and how you process things, how you accomplish, and I want to say even the quality of your well-being and your work all the meanwhile. Moving on forward, we have the Ace of Cups, beautiful energy to make our way to the beginning of the second half of the month. And I truly feel like, okay, they're saying there's a need to water one's cup once again, but a sense of abundance overflowing from your cup to begin the second half of the month. Feels like your hard work is paying off, your focus and determination is helping you thrive through it all, and it's bringing you more success. I feel like people know that you're going places, and I feel like being drawn to this reading, you've known this for a while, even if there are certain people coming around to realize this or just discovering you, okay, or just meeting you. I'm hearing I like you, but I feel like a lot of people love what you have to offer, what you're producing and developing, your energy. Any moments of slight nervousness or anxiety, cleanse your energy. It might not be yours, or you just might be needing to take a deep breath because you feel like you're overworking oneself at certain points, if not the whole month, if you take a step back. And Spirit's saying, we're not going to try and get in your way when it comes to that, but at the same time, find balance in it all, okay? Again, that hunger being quite present. And they're saying we are honoring your passionate way of being. The Sun card coming out. So I feel like to begin the second half of the month, Spirit's reminding you, or you're just being reminded in certain ways that completion leads you to happiness, right? To more abundance, more comfort even for some. But I also just feel like this is preparation for the future. I do feel like you could be thinking back to when you left a job to run a business, begin one, or just focus on it, or when you left one job for another, or you left a living situation for another. It could be more than one thing for you, and how this has left you with more abundance. They're saying to move into a state of prosperity all the meanwhile. I just feel like you're doing well, right? Even if people don't think so, I feel like certain people are less concerned about you throughout this month in comparison to January. It just feels like things are falling into place for you quite smoothly. And I just feel like you deserve it. You deserve it, all right? Let's shift on forward towards the Four of Wands. Beautiful for the King of Cups. So the middle of the second half of the month highlights even more so that things are falling into place. It just feels like the abundance flowing in the second half of the month especially gives you a sense of comfort for your bright future, right? It allows you, gives you the opportunity to catch your breath. And I truly feel like there is a very fulfilling note coming through from this King of Cups, right? Where you're able to just do what you have to do when you need to do it, and any delays are divine, right? Or divinely guided, or just meant to be. Any slip-ups, again, are just meant to be. I feel like, especially in the middle of the second half and the end, given we have the Queen of Cups for the last card, there's a focus on the different sides of you, the different talents you have. One talent I feel like that you're perfecting over time. And I just feel like your caring nature also taking a focus. They're saying any shakiness, any way of being in that sense that comes to be, any moments when you kind of blank out or just feel a little bit out of it, shake it off, okay? Or maybe step away from a situation, as I feel that that's going to benefit you greatly. There's a sense with these grapes in the background that your hard work is paying off once again. I'm getting the fruits of your labor. I did the Scorpio reading in full and then had decided not to post it. I'm going to redo it, but watch that reading when I do it. I don't know if you have that in your chart or not, but it feels like there is no shortage of you feeling tapped into your earth placements and your fire placements. I know you're an air sign, but it just feels like those two elements are taking quite a presence in your month, in your way of being, in the way you accomplish things. The Six of Cups, I'm not going to take this. There is a sense of gratuity for some. It could be tips, commission, people donating, however that ends up working for you. But I feel like without meaning to, or just, it could be purposeful. You're finishing up or getting ready to finish up this month in the last chunk, and you're reflecting on the month as a whole, all that you've accomplished, how busy you've been, right? It's like, how can one person do so much? But I also just feel like it's a push at certain points to just be ultra grateful for all the abundance that's come in, right? And I feel like people are in awe. You're very, very impressive with whatever you're accomplishing, making the best out of something, I want to say. But I also feel like there's a push to remember who you see clearly at this point, or just always have. I feel like nature, animals coming into play, as I'm drawn to a squirrel, as a sense of reminding, or just certain messages. Could be just a need to be distracted in that moment, to focus on something more humorous or just beautiful. Anyways, but also I just feel as if you're wrapped up with, or somebody surrounds you that you shouldn't be trusted, okay, or just is making you a bit nervous. But they're saying all the meanwhile, keep your crown on. They keep drawing me back to this. Keep your crown on. Own the fact that with so many kings and queens coming out in this reading, male or female, there's a royal way about your confidence, about your energy, about the way you accomplish throughout the month. And that in of itself is going to make you even more successful, even through certain levels of difficult energy, chaos, right? Certain levels of stress that you feel come to be at certain points, potentially just due to having a lot on your plate, or at work, at home, both. They're saying, who cares? Just keep it moving. Keep it moving. Do what you got to do, and allow for oneself to recognize that things can't always be perfect, because we don't want you to stay in the same place forever, right? I do feel like a lot of you are wrapped up with the situation, if not multiple, that is meant to be with you for the long run. But there's a sense of whether it's at home or it's a work situation, it could be both for some. There's a sense of discomfort at certain points to keep oneself thinking about a future upgrade, right? Or something more ideal for oneself. And that's okay. The Six of Pentacles, beautiful. So the number 66 coming out. There's a sense of you needing to remember towards the end of the month how much abundance you deserve moving forward, even though you're feeling quite grateful to wrap up the month with a bow. I'm grateful for all of the abundance that's come in up until this point. I do feel like people are needing you once again. People are gifting you. People are seeing you as somebody who gets more than expected, whether it's how much they expect you to make, or just how successful they've expected you to be up until this point. It feels like this is a month of, again, prosperity, growth, and just different levels of abundance that feels rewarding all the meanwhile. It's a month where your hard work is paying off, but your caring nature, your passion, and your determination all the meanwhile, and that sense of groundedness is working to your advantage. What an amazing month ahead for you. All right, definitely go enjoy your month, and I'll see you next time.